I know about you, but I've joked with Rachel before. I'm like, I'm so ready to have a kid once it's 12. Like I spent so much time in youth ministry and also at summer camp from 12 to 14-year-olds that is my sweet spot. That feels good. From like 0 to like 10 or so. Rachel, can you take them? And then I'll take over from like 12 to 18.
See, feeling confident about that phase is good for you.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a... Well, you were talking about last episode. You saw the kids at the restaurant and you're like, Dad, seriously, Dad, go away.
Yeah. I mean,
that'll
I'm
be
not
the
ready
difference.
For that.
That'll might be, I'm sure this won't happen. Your kids will be, but there's potential that because youth group cool guy, this is the coolest guy in town to know. But Dad, get away. Were you embarrassed of your father ever?
Not too much publicly. I was like scared of him like giving me a hard time about something and embarrassing me, but not necessarily of his behavior.
Okay. Even at the shows this weekend, you're like, please, Dad, don't. Dad, stop.
I saw that you made him sit like in the back corner. Is that why? Or
I'll tell you what happened is I texted
I was kind of worried. Like, was he able to get in okay?
So yeah, I texted my dad probably like a week or so ago. I was like, hey, just to confirm, like what night do you guys have tickets? And my dad was like, oh, we don't have tickets. And I was like, well, like everything is sold out. And he's like, well, your mother and I thought that you might know someone who could get us tickets. And I was like, I mean, that's a fair point. We just never talked about it. And so, yeah, I just kind of snuck them in. And I mean, yeah, these comedy clubs, when they say sold out, it is sold out. Like at theaters, it's sold out. I mean, there's like some solo seats or whatever. But yeah, so we kind of waited for it to get pretty full. And there was a table off to the side that no one was sitting at. So I was like, okay, I feel pretty good. Why don't you guys go sit there? And then bad move. Apparently they had been saving that seat for someone else. Like one of the waiters had been saving that. Then like the club like manager or whatever was talking to me while I'm getting introduced. She's like kind of scolding me like, hey, now it's okay for now, but we did have someone planned. And he's like, Jake, triplet. Yeah. And I'm like, no, that's fine. I'm so sorry. We can have them move or whatever. I'm about to go before, whatever. And so I think I made a little bit of a boo-boo, but they were able to see the show.
That's good. Yeah, I'm sure there's always someone who doesn't show up or something, but
yeah. So yeah, they were able to see it and it was fun. And my dad's not a big part of my bit, but there is some stuff in there about him. And my dad says he always gets nervous anytime I'm on a podcast or on stage and I talk about my childhood. He's like, that's the only time I get nervous about what you're going to say. Because I think he's just like, I made some mistakes. I don't want you to talk about them.
Do you, is Rachel cool with everything?
Yeah. She was, there was a few things I said. She's like, just so you know, like my grandma's coming tomorrow night. So I was like, okay, no, that is good. That is a good reminder. There is one part specifically, I will take that part out. But
don't ever show her any clips of, I think of that too.
Yeah.
I talk a decent bit about my parents who I think they'll all be good sports.
Mm-hmm.
Surely.
Talk a decent bit about me, but I don't really have a choice, do I?
Oh, wow. Is it even, what offends you? What's the closest to offending you?
The probably the bit about the red velvet cake and then me having dyed hair.
Oh yeah, I do. It's a little
yeah.
It's natural hair, and I know that's probably because you probably fight that. People are like, "Do you dye it?" And you're proud to say, "No, I don't."
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
But unfortunately, that gets a big laugh.
It does.
I was wondering,
staying in.
It's kind of a similar thing. In the last tour, you had a joke about like swiping or something like that. You said like, and I met my wife on Tinder.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. And that would always get a big laugh, but also not true.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know if you guys ever...
Yeah, that one feels less in it. I've always thought of the hair. I tried because initially I tried it like, not to give too much away, but the bit is just something like, Katie, we had this actual disagreement once about red velvet cake. Where I was like, oh, I love red velvet, and she's like, that's just chocolate cake with red food coloring. So like, ew, no, we're not getting that. And my first stroke was like, well, the purse you want is just a regular purse with
like a certain label on it.
Louis Vuitton on it. So how about we don't do that? It would get like a chuckle, but then I went, well, you're just a white girl with like hair coloring on it. So, and I still went with you. Big like reaction to that.
It is.
So
much
I
funnier.
tried that one night,
It is
and
much
now
funnier.
it's in. And just if you came to the show or going to the show, she has beautiful natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I could get up after you and kind of close out the night. Hey, we just got a few notes tonight. That
would be helpful, actually. Yeah, just a few things like everything that Trey said tonight was a truth or an exaggeration of the truth. So a few things to Now, when
clarification.
Trey jokes that
Yeah.
his dad hit him, you get the joke, right? He wasn't illegally beating him.
Was it like a
he
strike?
spanked him like many of you were. It's a hyperbolic way to make it funny. That would be helpful, actually.
Like, what was that show they used to do? Like, it was PTI Around the Horn, one of those shows. At the very end of the show, they would have like a stat checker come in and just tell them everything they got wrong.
Yeah,
And I
that's
just
what
come in at
comedy
the end
needs.
and like, just a few things. Now, this one was true. This one was a little exaggerated, though.
Because you'd say most of your stuff is pretty true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Have you ever had anyone suggest it wasn't? That really made you mad?
I don't think so. Has that happened to you?
Yes. Some of Katie's people have done this to me.
Oh,
and
really?
Bless their hearts. It was fine. A couple times it made me very annoyed because I think just Katie is so, if you know Katie, she's very sweet and soft spoken. And I joke with her how like I might be the only person in the world, and maybe her family, to like see the real Katie, because she can be not soft spoken, which is usually my fault. But like it's in there. And so I've like part of the bits are like, you know, how we fought or
Yeah.
how like she'll get after me and vice versa. And I've had a couple be like, yeah, that bit was funny because like I've known Katie a long time, and I was like, he's just saying that for the joke. That's not Katie.
Oh, wow.
And I remember just my blood boiling. Like, it's my wife. You think
That is kind
it's
of
just a weird thing to do to a person, to be like, I know her too, and it's your wife, but I know her better, maybe.
And when it's about this like art form that you put so much time and thought
Yeah.
into, it's like you're already criticizing this thing that's going well, which is already like rubs me the wrong way. And
Yeah.
then two, you're calling me a liar that you know my wife better than I do.
That there
Yeah,
is.
it's
1,
a
2,
double
3.
gut
Yeah.
punch. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
That's
it
too
is
bad.
all pretty true, which is fun.
The one thing Rachel said after, because yeah, so for everyone listening, I'd been doing this probably like 10-minute bit about Rachel for months now and hadn't told her. I told her that there was some stuff about her, but I didn't want to tell her what the jokes were until she heard it in person. She got to hear it for the first time. And there is a part in there that's not necessarily about hers, but just the punchline is a bra size. You know, that's like the punchline. And so that was something where Rachel was like, I didn't expect that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know. I was like, it gets a great laugh. And
No,
you
what's
know.
funny is I noticed you changed the size.
Yes, because
Because it was, did you start with like her actual size? And you're like,
Yes.
let's just not, it doesn't need to be exact. Yeah.
exactly. So I didn't know that though, because that's why Rachel got a little embarrassed. She was like, my parents were there. And I was like, well, I don't actually know your bra size. I don't think
like,
any guy
well, you
knows.
nailed it.
Yeah. She's like, well, it is. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm
I'll
just
change
That
it.
is
saying
so
numbers
funny.
and letters. And so
I also love, I don't know if this two deals. I love that when you changed it, you made him a little bigger, which is it was a win-win. It's not
Well,
your
why
actual
not?
size, and it was a flattering improvement.
thank you for noticing all that. That's so funny.
That
I
is
noticed that this weekend. I was like, he
funny.
bumped it up a cup. I wonder what that was about.
Kept her the same size
I bet
around
that was
though.
some kind of conversation.
That's smart move. Smart move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was either like, okay, you're actually saying it, just say a different size, or she was like, you're kind of downgrading me a little bit. So one of you,
No, apparently I was nailing it right off the bat. And she was like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, what if my mom knows my bra size and knows that you know my bra size? I was like, I don't think anyone, I don't know. I didn't even think of that. I didn't know
That's
I
crazy.
had it. And so
I would imagine most men don't tell us what it is, Derek. But do you know your wife's bra size?
Not at all.
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
I was,
90% of guys don't know.
I was pretty
Yeah.
sure. I was like, I don't think they would know.
Yeah.
That's actually hilarious. Everyone's wife knows their guy's shoe size, what boxer size he is, what shirt. 9 out of 10 guys couldn't. I mean, she needs a bra. I don't have a.
Zero clue.
There's like a numbers and letters and
What about the other clothes though?
I was about to say, even that, I don't have that
I-
real dialed in.
that's
Yeah.
why I've had to ask you a couple times. I've got
Yeah.
it. I think I've got it.
Like trying to buy
what girls-
Rachel like Christmas gifts right now. So I don't want to just like ask her necessarily, but it's like, I don't know what size she would wear in leggings. I don't know what size she would wear in like joggers or like a crop top. It's like, obviously it's supposed to be shorter, but I don't know. She's a tall girl. Yeah, I don't know anything.
It is tough because women's clothes are a little, the shapes are a little more versatile than guys. I mean, guys, it's just like, they're all shirts that come down to here and that,
Yeah.
It's hard. Even for us, it's hard.
Oh,
Different size in every brand, honestly.
And then now you're a whole different shape now.
I'm a completely different
like a whole
shape.
thing.
Mrs. Potato Head shape. On the inside.
Yeah. Pretty similar to that. So
Oh, yeah. That's funny you noticed that I switched that.
Yeah,
Switched
that's great.
the measurement there.
Well,
Yeah. Fun times.